Pop.
Slide into my DM.
I'm never drinking again. It's no big loss. I'm never drinking again with Aiden Parents and Dan Ross.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Never Drinking Again podcast with me, Dan Ross.
And me, Aiden Parents.
Yeah, as you may be able to tell by the audio quality, we're not in our very lovely studio today. We're doing this on Skype.
Yep, enforcing all social distancing, which means I don't have to see Dan for quite some time.
Yeah, you're a very lucky man. I was so desperate not to see that when you put your video on Skype, I said turn that off. So
that's exactly what happened. I thought we were doing a video call because that's what Skype's for. No,
I just want to see a flashing circle with AP. That's all I want to see. So obviously we are very responsible young men, and we are following all the laws. Well, the laws advice around social distancing. So also not a great way of getting guests social distancing. So we've decided that this is our end of series 1, and this is the end of series 1 special.
It is. It's harder to get guests, which is annoying because all the comedians are super free now.
Yeah,
got nothing in their diaries, no gigs.
I know we could have Skyped them in as well, but I feel like that would have just been a disaster.
Well, we're kind of doing this as a bit of a trial. If this works out okay, I think we could potentially
have Skype guests.
Some Skype guests.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're listening to this and then there is no guests later down the line during lockdown, we didn't like this.
Yeah.
That is the thing to infer. So we're going to be doing a series 1 sort of retrospective, a 9-episode series. That's done.
Like all the best shows of the 9 episodes of series.
Yeah. Like all those shows that everyone loves. They all had 9 episodes. Can't think of any in particular, but you all know that all your favourite shows.
There's going to be some.
Yeah. So we're going to look at the leaderboard of Series 1. But we'll start off with the origins of the podcast. Lots of people are asking me, how did this beautiful creature come into existence?
Define lots.
Well, the talk show host that I speak to in my mind, in my imaginary interviews with Graham Norton, he's always asking. So we met at. Do you remember meeting me, Aiden?
I don't remember the exact moment, but I remember the
general area.
The start of our romance.
Romance. I don't remember me. I remember the first time I ever heard of you, which was so me and Aiden worked in a pub together. I was there before him, and my voice cracked then just remembering it. And I think your trial shift was a Monday, wasn't it?
It was,
which is our quiz night, and I believe you were wearing a rather snazzy shirt.
Yeah,
and then
because that's what I walked. Earlier that day, I'd walked in with my CV and stuff and said, have you got any jobs? And they went, oh yeah, come back tonight. I said, what shall I wear? I said, just what you're wearing now. So that's what I did.
Oh, well. That sounds like classic behaviour manager of the time.
You going to mention names?
No, I was worried. Okay. I don't want to get... but yeah, it's an in-joke for anyone who's worked at the place we worked. So it was very obvious who that was. And yeah, you wore your snazzy shirt, and I believe one of the quiz teams named themselves after you.
Yeah, new bartender in a twatty shirt.
Yeah, and then that was the talk of the town of the non-new employees. They were like, "There's a new guy, and he wore a shirt." And yeah, that turned out to be my future podcast co-host, Aiden Parents.
Yes. Yeah, we grew to tolerate each other, didn't we, Dan?
We did. It was a lovely. Two of the people who were semi-competent.
Yeah.
Which I think leads us to gravitate together.
Also, there's the more sort of alcoholic ones, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that helped as well.
Yeah, it was like, oh, he wants to go to pub. And even when we didn't really know each other, you'd be like, oh, go on then.
Yeah. If someone was around who would, like, will go to the pub with you, then they're definitely on the way to becoming a friend. Because you had all the responsible people that were like, no, we can't go to the pub during work hours. We were all like, let's get on it.
Yeah, then eventually it just became they'd give us breaks to go to the pub together.
Yeah, it does make us sound more like alcoholics than I think we are, but...
Well, it's not a great sign when the manager goes, do you two want to go pub for an hour?
Yeah.
So I might have a problem.
The best breaks of that ilk are when they say, go to the pub for an hour, but it'll probably be longer. We'll just call you when we need you back.
Yeah.
And you just like had 3...
It's so bad when it's like 3 hours and you come back a bit wobbly.
Yeah, like definitely pissed. Someone who works there now, they told me a story about when they started, and I'd gone to like the pub for 2 hours, and I came back and they asked me a question, and I was like, "I'll just do what you want. I'm a bit pissed." I was just like, in bar work, that's like the norm.
Yeah.
If that was any other job, that'd be like a problematic thing. Like going to the pub for 2 hours in the middle of work.
But just imagine just coming back to the office.
Yeah.
Somebody asks you to feel like, I'm drunk, I don't care.
Speaking of saying that though, there's regulars at my pub who come in every Friday from an office at lunchtime, have like a double G&T, go back to work, finish work at 4, and then come back to the pub.
Yeah.
So maybe alcoholism is rife throughout the community, not just in.
It is, but I think it's much more open in our work.
Yeah. Well, it's how you get through the.
There's no sort of hiding it from the management or anything.
Yeah, there's no way people who work in pubs are not going to tell that you've had a beer.
Yeah.
It's kind of part of their remit. And then, so yeah, we work together. We have many stories about the pub life, but we'll probably get into them in a future episode. And then the podcast came about because I got free podcasting hours. It's a very interesting.
Yeah, that's basically it. Well, we worked together, but we've also both done stand-up as well.
That's true. I inspired you to do stand-up, I believe.
I don't think that's what happened.
I believe that's what happened. That's what I believe happened.
It's not what happened. But anyway.
I told you to do it. I mean, you'd already done it, but stopped doing it. And I was like,
I'd done it like 2 or 3 times, and then
believe in yourself, girl.
And you were like, do it again.
Yeah, and then you did.
Yeah.
Now you've probably done it more than me.
I haven't done it that much.
You seem to be gallivanting around places.
Yeah, I go far away, but not often.
Tame.
Yeah, we got cancelled.
Oh, because of COVID.
Yeah.
And we got a free podcast studio, Pirate Studio. Shout out to them. And we were like, what do we do a lot of? Drinking. Let's do a podcast about drinking. And some people have claimed that we very much ripped off the Off Menu podcast with James Acaster and Ed Gamble. And
the main person who claims that is you, though, to be fair, Dan. No one else brings that up except for you in every episode, being like, we haven't plagiarised it, which is it's the only way to sound like you definitely have.
Well, true, but...
It would be like standing outside of school going, oh, I'm not a pedo. Everyone's looking at you, mate. No one thought you were.
I need to stop doing that, to be fair, that is true. And schools are shut now as well, so it's just a fucking ball ache.
Where are they?
This is not what I wanted. This is not the type of lockdown I like. I'm not a nonce, just clarify. Which again sounds bad. Oh, I should have just left that.
Yeah, exactly. I'll put you in a corner where if you say it anymore, it's going to sound like you are.
Yeah. So moving swiftly on, the name. Who came up with the name? Oh yes, it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the idea, but I think it's good, but some people don't get it because I'm like, oh, it's about drinking, but it's called Never Drinking Again. And they're like, shouldn't it be not about drinking then? It's like, no.
Like, that's what you say when you're...
Yeah, it's the joke. I think it will get to a point where one of us has to stop drinking, like medically or do severe. Something will happen, presumably outside of a school, and it'll be court ordered. And then Never Drinking Again will take on a much more sinister tone. But
I mean, we'd have to get different jobs first.
Yeah. I always say, like, I don't think I'd drink as much as I currently do if I didn't work in a pub.
Absolutely not, because when you finish work in another job, you can either go to the pub or go home. When you finish work in a pub, you're at the pub already.
Yeah.
So
the decision's been made for you.
Yeah.
And there's also other pubs. I like the kind of like post-drinking thing where it's just people who work in pubs.
Yeah. Well,
they're
obviously we work in different pubs now, but they're like 10 doors down from each other, so we'll often see each other during breaks or after shift or before shift.
We will often come and drink in each other's pub during the hours when we're not working. But without further ado, I think this is like the opening day of the season or the final day of the season when like Match of the Day show the table for the first time. We are going to run through the Never Drinking Again leaderboard and discuss some of our memories of Series 1.
Yeah. Okay. Are we stopping or are we running straight through?
Let's have a little break. So, welcome back, everyone, for the exciting Never Drinking Again leaderboard revelation. Reveal? Revelation? Reveal?
Conclusion?
Yes. So, who is last place?
Last place, number 9, is Sham Zaman.
Sham. Oh, Sham.
I love Sham.
He's a lovely man.
However, his night got marked down because he doesn't drink, which, as we've already discussed today, me and Dan are both big fans of.
Oi, oi.
And he had a pizza that had chicken, mackerel and tuna on it. So
Sean was very left field for a big night out. But he was gonna. The venue was good. His comedy night.
Yeah, I've since been to that. It's great. It's an experience for sure. It's,
Project Mayhem.
Project Mayhem, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a really good night out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and plug as many other like comedy things as possible, but none of them are on at the moment. But
yeah. So Project Mayhem was running, I think, 3 Sundays a month. I can't remember which ones exactly. And then once this is all over, hopefully that'll be back.
Awesome. Sham was also one of the nights when we went out afterwards.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was the staff party for your current and my previous workplace.
Yeah, and we... where did we... It was an interesting one because it was one of those situations where...
Well, we went for a few drinks beforehand, didn't we?
Did we? Oh, yeah, like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It wasn't like full-on episode
No.
9 situation. Yeah, and then we did the podcast, and then the toughest part was trying to gather from my drunk boss where everyone was.
Oh, yeah, because you got a text from his current boss saying, girls on bar, bits hanging out.
Yeah. Shall I try and find the conversation between me and my boss on that fateful night of trying to find... Okay, yeah, I've got it. Perfect. So it started with me. Me and Aiden will be at a bar called Dead Wax in Digbeth from like 9:30 onwards. So they'd gone to, I think, Star City as their thing in the day, whereas I was recording, and then we were all going to meet in Birmingham afterwards. So I was like, come meet us in Digbeth. And then he put sorted Dead Wax, I reckon, spelled REAKON, even I could pull in there, question mark. And then I put, in the dead wax now, it's absolutely dead. And he put, no wax, question mark, just like dead, question mark. And then I put correct. So it's clear who's the drunker of the two. And then he put, no milfs, question mark. And I put, no, afraid not. Think Aiden scared them off. What's the plan? You lot heading to Digbeth? And he put, we on Broad Street now, going players. According to Mark, we've had a few casualties along the way. I put, oh, that's miles from where I am. And then he put, women dancing on bar with bits hanging out. And then I just gave up. And contacted someone more sensible. And we did end up we're at a place with women dancing on bars. There were very little bits hanging out there.
Yeah, yes. It wasn't it was pretty ugly. You're making it sound like a seedier place.
No, it was like fun.
Fairly mainstream nightclub.
See, I more found the people dancing on the bar annoying. You're trying to get a drink and you're worried about something on your hand.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We were both relatively sober that night.
For a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then we tried to play catch up and lapped everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's always the issue, isn't it? When you start after everyone trying to catch up and then just lapping them. Like they all went home at like 12. I swear we were there till like 3 a.m.
Yeah, we stayed out quite a bit later than other people.
Yeah. And I bought you a shot of absinthe and then you didn't have it, so I had it.
Yes.
Classic
absinthe.
So yeah, that was Sham's night. It was very sobriety heavy, so we decided to get wankered afterwards.
Then in at number 8 is my night, which was it was a bit of a shambles.
Yeah. In defense of you though, yours is kind of a bit of an outlier because it wasn't judged by you, judged by me. So you could argue that you've had an unfair representation.
Looking at some of the other scores and how generous I was,
I
would have also been quite generous with mine.
So you reckon if you'd have scored it, you'd have won?
No, I wouldn't have won because it was by far not the best night out described. But as we get through, I've been generous with some people for sure.
So your night was
the problem I had though in the episode where I described my night, I said it was a pub crawl, and then you asked me how many pubs, and I didn't expect to say that, so I just went 7, and then had to try and think of 7 different places to go.
7 different genres of pub.
Yeah.
And Deepak was on your night out as well.
He was, yeah.
Should have given you a for that.
Yeah, can't believe that wasn't boosted.
You and your friends, who would have been your friends that would have been going with you on your ideal night out, came to where I work on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Remember? And Deepak was drinking Baileys, which I found hilarious. Don't drink Baileys. His last Baileys at the last orders.
Yeah.
It's like creamy alcoholic liqueur when you're drunk. It's just basically saying, I want to be sick. Bless him. So, and Freddie Flintoff was your...
Yeah, Flintoff was my my celebrity guest. Which I stand by that choice.
Oh yeah, it's a solid choice, Freddie Flintoff. No denying that.
But then, just in above, at number 7, is Leanne.
Leanne.
And the most recent guest.
Yep.
Maybe the last ever, if this was.
Yeah, COVID carried on. Or if one of us dies.
I'll carry it on without you.
Ah, why is it more likely that I'm going to die?
Look at you.
The pieces too, yeah. Yeah, but you smoke, which is bad.
Yeah, but I went for a run today.
Oh, well done.
Because it's like the only reason I'm allowed to leave the house, so I'm now running. I'm a runner.
You're allowed to leave the house for essentials, like lager.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. I went and bought a bottle of whiskey and like 120 Jaffa cakes the other day.
Stay safe. Just the essentials: Jaffa cakes and whiskey.
But that was after I'd been for a run. So
okay, yeah, it's allowed then. That could be a good name for our double act: Jaffa cakes and whiskey.
Could you keep every time I say something and something you say that, and it rarely works. Dan, I'll be honest.
I'd be Jaffa cakes.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, Leanne.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of Leanne's night, Dan?
No. But what I will say is, so I've not listened back to this episode for obvious reasons, because I got drunk. But lots of people who I've seen who like listen to the show have said it's been one of their favourite episodes, and that's like
it's probably my favourite to edit. Made me laugh a lot.
And I think that's a big thumbs up plus mark for Leanne, because I was such a dick. To be good in that situation, I think shows that she.
Leanne very much held that together. I think.
Yeah,
it was very drunk.
In spite of me. So, as one of the hosts, I shouldn't be the nuisance.
Well, let me run you through some things that Leanne had on a night out.
Okay.
She was drinking Lamborghini.
I remember that because that was near the start, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she, we came up with this term of sexploitation.
Yeah, I remember her saying she wanted to do things to people.
She wanted to file a boy.
Oh, Jesus. A man.
Yeah, a boy. Of age, but from her description, very much a boy.
Boyish charm.
I think she wanted to make a boy into a man.
Okay. We've all been there.
And that was, it was a very interesting night out. It was basically she just wanted to go to a house party and find the guy that. Yeah, that was it.
And defile someone. Oh, yeah. That's lovely. Who is above her in danger of being defiled?
Then, in fifth place, joint fifth. This is our very first guest, Mark Hines.
Mark Hines,
and yourself.
Oh, what a pairing! I remember Mark's night. I would say is actually the night. Maybe not that I'd most want to do, but it's probably the night I most often do.
Yeah, just a nice time in a pub.
Yeah, I think it's basically sitting in a pub on your own, drinking beer, watching football, and eating crisps.
Yeah, it's. I know at the time people were like, really, 8 out of 10 for that, but even now, sounds great.
That's silly, yeah.
Especially now, I haven't been to a pub in over a week.
Yeah, there's no football apart from the Belarusian Premier League.
Yeah, which I've wasted all my money on hackers on that.
And crisps. I mean, I've still got crisps.
Yeah, that's it. And I'd give anything to go to a pub and watch some football by myself.
By yourself. Like the whole thing of like drinking on your own, people frown upon it, but it's great.
It is, yeah.
Especially like now, because where I work now, there's not that many other functioning alcoholics like you. So when I do have a break to drink, it is normally on my own. I'm normally like 18.
Unless I'm not working and I've popped in.
Oh yeah, those are always good times. I feel like all this talk about drinking in the pub could definitely be used in I'm imagining this being played back to me in a disciplinary hearing. You'll be
if people in my company get hard of it, they might be like, "What do you mean you drink before shift?"
I don't think they'd mind. Well, one of them maybe.
Yeah. Oh no, my direct boss is
superior.
Above me would be fine with it.
He'd encourage it.
Yeah, he knows. Like because I live on one side of the pub and all the other pubs were on the other side. And I will walk past and be like, "Hi, just going to the pub. See you in a bit."
Fun. And then my
What was
night.
your night out? You had John Parkin or whatever his name
Yeah,
was.
John Parkin, Football League legend. Went to Old Snobs, I remember that.
Yes.
I think I had chips and curry sauce.
From somewhere else, like Glasgow or something, was it?
Oh, from Newcastle.
Newcastle.
That was it. Oh, and where Old Snobs. And I went to this barbecue restaurant in London, Smoke Shack.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I'm the only person that stopped for food halfway through, which I think is a very me thing to do.
Indictment of your character, that is.
Yeah. And we had a burnt peach old fashions.
Yes, that sounded very nice.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, we drank. I brought up the cocktail I invented, vodka beer.
Yeah, the cocktail you invented.
A very fancy cocktail. It's the kind of
You
thing
should enter that when they do these, like, mixologists in Birmingham, come and create a cocktail for us.
Yeah. Vodka beer. Like,
I'd love to see you do it as well. Just like open a can of Carling, pour some vodka in the top, and just go, there you go.
Fantastic. Here's the £1,000 prize. It's the kind of thing like when I was 18, I was like, this is an amazing idea. But now, if like someone offered me that, I'd say, oh, fucking hell no. There's limits now. Whereas I feel like when I was 18, no limits.
Yeah, there were some rancid things I drank. Which is basically why I didn't do absinthe on that night out, because I've had too much of it, and too much of it mixed with other things, like beer and absinthe, which we called babsinthe.
Again, great variation.
And it was horrible.
We we invented our own bombs for each other. You know, like a Jaeger bomb, but we call it our lager. So the Ross bomb was a pint of lager, a pint of the cheapest lager, which with a shot of vodka and Tabasco in.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. That would fuck you up, yeah.
That sounds absolutely horrible.
Very contrasting Mark's nice night of sitting in the pub watching football, eating crisps. But are we on to the top three now?
Top four.
Top four.
So
Okay.
fourth, just outside the podium positions.
Champions League qualification.
Yeah. Is Carl Adams.
One of the recent guests.
One of the recent guests who we were a bit drunk for, but actually
Not
quite
as
a decent night out.
yeah. It was the most globe-trotting night out, I remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it's the only one that left the UK.
Yeah, globe-trotting.
A number of celebrity guests appeared along the way.
The Kardashians were involved, I seem to recall.
Yeah, the Jenner family, I think he brought out.
The younger Kardashians.
Yeah.
And Snoop involved?
Snoop?
What?
Snoop Dogg.
Maybe.
There's Dennis Rodman, a lot of him.
Dennis.
Pretty much as like a constant.
Yeah. Yes. Someone actually messaged me and said, I agree, I bring out Dennis Rodman. The podcast is a smash hit. The people are talking about it.
Well, that's what I realised with the Ants. The Ants, I got more sort of compliments and stuff on that than that's really.
Lots of compliments on that one. The one where I disappeared for a bit to have a wee.
Yeah, the one where you weren't in the whole thing.
Yeah,
and I edited out a few things that you'd said as well.
Oh, yeah.
I made some accusations, and you also spoke about the event, which we said we weren't going to do. So
you edited that out. Yeah. It's the terrible combination because like when you're drunk, you kind of want to show off a bit, and then when you're also like have a microphone in front of you, know you're recording, you're like, oh, I want to show off and say stuff I shouldn't. And I was just like, in hindsight, I was like, oh, what a dick. Yeah. No, well. Yeah, I said a lot of things that illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so Carl Adams came in there with he was on 8.3, which I'll talk about it in a bit, but I think he could have been bumped up a bit more
Yeah.
above some of these nights.
Fourth is hard. I think he was one of those people that really took the concept and went for it.
Yeah. For example, in joint second place, we've got Michael Bell and Carl Hinken.
Oh, wow.
And now, I love Carl Hinken, but I'd swap him and Carl Adams in hindsight.
You do a coal transfusion?
Yeah, I'd swap them out.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Carl Adams' nights was better.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the judgments at the time don't reflect that. So,
Yeah.
But Carl Hinken's night. I remember talking to Carl. A lot of the things I can't remember anything about his night.
He went to Subside.
Oh yeah, and he was drinking Di Serrano?
He was.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
But,
and he also said no one likes beer, which was quite offensive to us.
yeah. As a beer specialist, I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
I think he said something like, "Oh, it just tastes like toast," which it doesn't, but also not a bad thing. Toast is amazing.
Yeah, toast is nice. Brown for starter, white for pudding, as Mark Corrigan would say.
Yeah, so that's all I can really remember about Carl. Subside Di Serrano. I feel like he has some pre-drinks as well.
Yeah, pre-drinks.
Quite relaxed pre-drinks.
All his mates round. And then
All
Michael.
two of them, yeah.
And one of his mates was called Snowy or something. One of his mates had like a really... I mean, that's not an interesting name.
Snowy? Are you sure that wasn't his cat?
Possibly. But yeah, I remember one of his friends had a nickname. And I remember asking why it was called it, hoping it was a cool story, and it wasn't. But now I'm retelling being told.
So you're retelling the time that you heard a boring story.
Yeah. Listen, we're on lockdown. We can't be expected to be.
This is all the entertainment you're getting, guys. This is
as
good as it gets.
BBC One. This is like one of the few live recorded things on at the moment. No EastEnders, no Holby City.
Is it not?
Well, they've stopped recording. They've stopped filming. So
they filmed like 6 months in advance.
Yeah, probably a while to that one. But other joint second, Michael Bell. He had a good night, I remember.
He did. I think. He went to a lot of places.
He's kicked. I've noticed on the Twitter at the NDA pod that he's been kicking off about being marked down for drinking. Was it Stella who was drinking?
Yeah, so when I posted the most recent episode of Facebook, he commented on that.
And he put on Twitter as well.
Oh, did he on Twitter?
Yeah, he was not happy.
Well, I told Michael at the time, and the offer still stands that I will give him an extra point if he brings me some loo roll.
He's not allowed to, though. # stay home.
Oh, you can leave it outside my house, and I'll go get it.
And what's your address?
It is.
I'm sure most people listening know where you live.
Probably. We don't have that many listeners.
That sounds vaguely threatening. Sure they know where you live.
Yeah, he was very angry because I did mark him down for drinking Red Stripe, and then in the very next recording, we were drinking Corona and Red Stripe.
Yeah. We were mocking him. But I play no part in the judgment, so...
But also, here's the thing. I wasn't drinking Corona and Red Stripe because it was my dream.
Yeah, it was...
Because they were on offer.
Yeah,
which is very much the point of that drink.
At the lovely corner shop we went to buy alcohol from.
So I stand by marking down Red Stripe on a dream night out.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So yeah, Michael, if you've got any more beef, go on a different social media channel to express it. He's gonna Bebo us.
Oh, we should get a LinkedIn going.
Never drink again, LinkedIn. Yeah. He'll not endorse any of our skills and remarks. And, like, no, they can't do podcasting. Oh, that's probably fair, actually.
It's fair.
Yeah. So, shall we move on to our winner? So,
The winner, which, if you've listened to all of them and paid attention, you'll have got from process of elimination. It is Thom Hodkins, I think.
Well done, Thom. He got a 9, didn't he?
He got a 9.
That's a ridiculously high score, Aiden.
He went to that little pub in Scotland with Nick.
Oh yeah, that did sound nice.
And drank some whiskey in the Highlands, and that just sold it. That one bit.
Yeah. Fair play.
And that's all I can really remember from his.
He was drinking Stella, because I remember Michael again getting annoyed that you criticised him. They were like, Stella, yeah, great.
It is very fun I quite liked having the two of them on, because we had them on at the same time. They're quite competitive.
It's good to have.
So easy to wind them up by just being a hypocrite.
Always good to be with another double act.
We're not a double act, Dan.
Oh. What?
We're former colleagues.
Former colleagues. And now friends.
No.
Oh.
Former colleagues who are bored.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I wasn't bored. I've been living the high life, mate. Football Manager.
But is that... In fact, you know what? We should do a sort of guide to the apocalypse episode.
I have a very simple guide to the apocalypse. Stay in, play FM, wait for the bad thing to happen.
Okay, and that's that episode done.
Yeah, we can release that. We can just cut that out and release it as an episode. But no, generally, if there was like a zombie apocalypse, people were always like, "Oh, what would you do in the zombie apocalypse?" But I'd literally just wait for it to happen. Like, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not surviving, am I? I'm not outrunning a zombie. So I'm just locking my doors, and I'm just going to wait and see what happens. And I bet I'd survive. Everyone would be like, "Oh, you have to do this. You have to do this." Just chill, survive.
Yeah, I don't know. I get quite bored at home.
You need to get FM then.
Well, like, I've been out every day for some kind of walk or run or something, which I never did before this.
Yeah. Hashtag stay home. Chris Whitty says so.
Who's that?
Who's Chris Whitty? He's the chief medical officer, and he keeps having those adverts.
Oh, is he? Yeah, I've seen the advert.
Pickled man, I like him.
Yeah, I didn't know his name, but yeah, I've seen them.
Well, me and my brother sing songs about him when he comes on.
Oh, yeah. What a fun life you've got.
I'm Chris Whitty. I'm Chris Whitty. There we go. Right, okay, so that's end of season 1. End of season 1 review.
Did you have a personal highlight, Dan?
Personal highlight.
You asked, we might even find that clip and edit it into this episode.
My personal I'm not doing that. My personal highlight would have been when
you don't have to have one.
Before recording with the Kamikaze Club, we were talking about the Royal Rumble. It's always nice to have people that like wrestling.
Hang on, your highlight of the whole series was something we didn't record.
Yep. Yeah, you got to leave them wanting more, Aiden. You got to, like, the listener's going to be like, wow. They say better things off.
All of it was trash.
Yeah. No, all of it.
From your little conversation about wrestling.
Yeah. So me and the Kamikaze Club are going to start a wrestling podcast called Aiden Smells.
You trying to create podcast beef?
Yeah, I got podcast beef. Who else can we create beef with? Hey, the football ramble. Suck your mum.
Let's not.
You know, I actually really like the Football Ramble fan. That was the first podcast that I saw that came up on my podcast library. So yeah, there's no beef really, guys.
Right, okay. Shall we
What's
wrap
your
up?
personal highlight?
My personal highlight is when Leanne said that one time she took cocaine and then took her top off because she wasn't getting enough attention.
We've all been
That made me laugh more than anything else on this podcast. Both in the studio and at home, listen to it when editing.
Amazing. I just wish I could remember it.
Well, you'll have to listen back to the episode, Dan.
I know.
It'll
Well,
be like a whole new experience.
yeah. But I was obnoxious.
So you'll be able to hear
I don't want
amazing editing of seamlessly erasing you being a dick.
If only you were able to do that in my everyday life. Just seemingly edit out the moments when I was a dick. Oh, that would be good. Right. So is this the end of our Series 1 review?
This is the end of the Series 1 review.
Oh, guys, it's been a lovely. When did we start? November. It's been a lovely.
I've really enjoyed it.
It's been great. It's the most I've ever done of anything. I think creatively. Normally I do.
But we did it, and we said we were going to do it every 2 weeks, and give a day or two. When you did it.
Fucking can't tell time.
Yeah, there were a few when I just didn't do it.
You know, you don't have to put it on our podcast server the immediate moment you want it to go up. You can upload it a few days in advance and schedule.
Yeah, no, I know, but I just leave it to the last minute every time.
You play with too much with danger. You do, parents.
So that's the last one. I think actually had to put a post on social media because I left it to the last minute and then went to the pub instead.
No, you can't do that now.
I know.
So
I have no excuse.
It'll be timely podcast now.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of some. We'll have some bonus content coming out, won't we?
Yeah, in between Series 1 and 2. Possibly around 12 weeks of bonus content or less if we like how this sounds.
Yes. We'll have a few weeks of bonus content anyway.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be at least one bonus. One more bonus.
At least a minimum of one.
But yeah, we're going to keep doing releasing stuff every 2 weeks, I think.
Yes.
Even if it's just a little something, because I think it's good. It's just going to cheer people up during these difficult times.
It's going to cheer me up, to be honest. I don't care if anyone listens to it. This is just nice to have a conversation with someone that I don't live with.
Yeah. Just to not speak, because I feel like me and my family, we know everything about each other already, so... Well, I've been able to tell you about my Chris Whitty song. You know, we've learnt a lot about each other today.
All right, let's end it there.
Yeah. But thanks for listening, guys. Remember, stay home, stay safe. We're going to release our cover.
Go out if you want. I don't care.
We're going to release our cover of Imagine.
Oh, God.
But yes, thanks for listening, and keep in touch with us on social media. We're very lonely, so we're at the NDA pod.
Slide into my DMs.
Aiden want that good.
Please.
And on that note, that is the end of our series. That's the end of Series 1.
Yeah, done.
Thanks, guys, and we'll see you again for Series 2.
Bosh.
Slide
into my DMs.
I'm never drinking again. It's no big loss. I'm never drinking again with Aiden parents and Dan Ross.